The game. That's right. Michigan and Ohio State are playing. Number one, Ohio State is playing at Ann Arbor versus we don't know. The playoff committee doesn't release their ranking until Tuesday night. It's just after 6 o'clock right now. I can't wait for that. I have a Michigan basketball game to watch that's important versus Auburn, the team that took Michigan out in the tournament last season. How about you, Ohio State? How's your basketball season doing? I digress. Michigan leads the series all time 62-51, and there are 6 ties. And these two teams are the past 2 national championship winners. And it's going to be on big noon kickoff on Fox. And Ohio State is favored in this one by 9.5 points. And everyone is picking Ohio State. Will I? In the preseason, I thought that Michigan would beat Ohio State again in Ann Arbor. That was before Ohio State rebounded from 14 draft picks and 2 new coordinators. And Michigan's upperclassmen weren't good enough to create depth for this team, so the freshmen had to take over, 6 of them on offense alone. So Michigan, I picked Michigan 4 out of the last 4 times in this game. And they won all 4 of those games. Yes, even last year I picked Michigan to win. I thought the defense was elite. Last year's Michigan's defense is going to go down in history books as one of the greatest, but no one will ever remember it. It was unbelievable with Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant up the middle there and all the other studs that went pro from Michigan. And that's with an offense that was terrible. 130th in passing last season, and go on down the line, it was bad. And Michigan, I thought, still could win that game, and guess what they did? 13-10 in Columbus. This one's in Ann Arbor. Defensively, Michigan is not going to be as great as they were last season, but offensively, they are much, much better. Michigan's defense has to be great on 3rd down, 4th down, if Ohio State chooses to do that, and in the red zone. Make them kick field goals instead of allowing touchdowns. Force Ohio State to work their way down the field. Can they matriculate? Can they not get bored with running the ball? Force them to run the ball is what Michigan's defense needs to do. I think this year, Ohio State's defense is good enough to stop Michigan from doing just that, grinding drives out. So big plays are going to be needed for Michigan's offense a couple of times to loosen them up a little bit. So like J.D. Pickell, I was just watching him a little bit ago. He was saying, he was giving his prediction, saying each team has their identity, but you have to have the counterpunch. You have to be able to play off your identity, and that is what is going to win this game. So here we go. Ohio State on offense versus Michigan on defense. Ohio State is getting 38 points per game, 440 yards per game. That's only 20 more yards than Michigan's offense is getting per game. Just saying. 270 of those yards are passing yards per game. Julian Sayin and company slinging it around. 170 rushing yards per game, not too shabby. Michigan's defense is allowing 18 points per game, 20 less than Ohio State is scoring. So what is going to happen there? 302 yards per game Michigan's defense is allowing. Only 208 passing and 94 rushing. Julian Sayin could break the all-time single-season record in completion percentage at 79% right now. He's got 2,832 yards. He's got 27 touchdowns to 4 interceptions, and he's only been sacked 6 times all season long. He's got weapons. Jeremiah Smith, we all know who he is. 69 for 902. 13.1 average, and 10 touchdowns. I don't think we bottle him up like we did last year, but I think Ohio State's going to get some passing yards. But will it culminate in touchdowns? That's the key. Carnell Tate has 39 catches for 711 yards and 18.2 average and 7 receiving touchdowns. Brandon Innes, 29 catches for 220 yards, 7.6 average is all, and 2 touchdowns. And then tight end Max Clare came on in the last game, but he's been a reliable target all season. 38 catches for 400 yards. That's a 10.5 average and 2 receiving touchdowns. And then running the ball, they got 3 pretty good ones. Bo Jackson has 129 carries. He gets the bulk of the time for 835 yards. That's a 6.5 average. That's pretty damn good, almost as good as Justice Haynes was doing before he got hurt for Michigan. And 5 rushing touchdowns for him. He also catches out of the backfield, 13 receptions for 138 yards and a touchdown receiving. James Peoples, 61 carries for 344 yards, a 5.6 average, and 3 rushing touchdowns. And then Isaiah West, 50 carries for 286 yards, more of a fullback type, it's like a 3.7 average or something, and 2 touchdowns. The fullback type is C.J. Donaldson, 75 carries for 286 yards, a 3.8 average. West has a 5.7 average. So 3 really capable running backs this year, along with C.J. Donaldson, who pounds it and gets 10 touchdowns. He got 10 touchdowns this season. Now, all them stats look really good and stuff, but the schedule, the results of each game has kind of skewed Ohio State's stats, both offensively and defensively. Since Texas, in week 1, they've played one good team until this game in Michigan, and that was at Washington. It's going to be their toughest test yet here in Ann Arbor. Michigan's offense versus Ohio State's defense. The offense for Michigan is getting 29 points per game. That's on the uptick, believe it or not. The past couple of games have shown that Michigan can be a lethal offense at times. 420 yards per game, 197 are passing, 223 are rushing. So balanced, but more rushing than passing. Ohio State's defense is allowing only 8 points per game. As I said, that might be skewed because of the opponents. It's not like Michigan had such a greater schedule than Ohio State, but just a little bit. And Ohio State's defense is only allowing 207 yards per game total. Number 1 in the nation. Both of those, I believe, are number 1 in the nation. 127 passing yards per game allowed and 80 rushing yards per game allowed. So what's going to give here between this side of the ball? Bryce Underwood, like I said, is starting to find his groove here. He is 62% now after early on establishing a 58% with all those drops and all them wide receivers that aren't even playing anymore. Thank goodness for that Andrew Marsh stepped up. But for Bryce Underwood, improvement all through the season. 2,166 yards, 9 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. He's been sacked 16 times, though. He has 68 rushes. He's a scrambler for 322 yards, and that's a 4.7 average per rush, and he has 5 rushing touchdowns. Andrew Marsh, like I said, the freshman, has stepped up the second half of this season. He's now got 42 catches for 641 yards, and that's a 15.3 average per reception, and he has 3 touchdowns. And then Donovan McCulley, the other wide receiver, 32 catches for 488 yards. That is also a 15.3 average, and he also has 3 receiving touchdowns. Tight ends, man, we've been through a tight end carousel here. It was Um, Hogan Hansen, early, he got hurt. We haven't seen him much lately. Then Marlon Klein got hurt, but now he's back. He's got 19 catches for 209 yards and a touchdown. And Zach Marshall has shined. And then Tonelli is stepping up as well. But Marshall has 15 catches. Excuse me. I see Jordan Marshall, the running back's right under him. So 15 catches for 195 yards. That's 13-yard average per reception, and he has a tutty. Couple running backs. Justice Haynes is out, but seems like Jordan Marshall went to the Maryland game last week, suited up, did not play, but he could have. We didn't need him. Maybe we do in this game. Maybe we don't. I expect him to play. He has 143 carries on the season for 871 yards, a 6.1 average, and 10 rushing touchdowns. And then Bryson Cusdahl has come in supplementing for Jordan Marshall when he was banged up, 45 carries for 206 yards, a 4.6 average, and 4 rushing touchdowns for him. So what does this all mean? It's Michigan, it's in Ann Arbor. Ohio State's heavily favored yet again. Could be inclement weather yet again. Michigan is battle-tested and grinding out close game after close game so far this season. Ohio State's just blowing everybody out, and they don't know the concept of having to gut a win out yet. Michigan and the staff are confident that they can win the 5th straight game in this series. I'm sure Ohio State is very confident that they can win this one too. But it isn't based on anything for Ohio State. They can still make the college football playoff without beating Michigan. Michigan has to have this game to make the college football playoff. And maybe if they win and Oregon loses, they can make the Big Ten championship game. If Ohio State loses, they are out of the Big Ten championship game, still in the playoff. Michigan needs this one. I haven't picked against them in the last 4 years. Like I said, this would be the year where I was confident last year. I'm not confident this season. But I think Michigan does get the win at home in Ann Arbor, 28-24. This cannot be a 42-35 game or anything like that if Michigan is to win. The defense has to be very great, and Bryce has to be efficient. They have to hit downfield shots. Ohio State could win any type of a game, okay? They could win low scoring. They could blow us out. But I think this is going to be a game where Michigan brings them into the doghouse and slows it down, mucks it up, hits big plays when they need to, and wins this game on the last drive. And it's going to be the defense that stops Ohio State from getting a touchdown to win this game, just like in years prior. They are going to step up. Wink Martindale is going to get the interception, something to stop that last drive, and Michigan wins 28-24. What do you think in the comments below about that? Let me know. Like the video if you did, and subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'm going to be watching Michigan basketball tonight. Michigan hockey on the other, is a different story. They just swept Ohio State. Still number 2, I believe. I haven't even looked at the rankings yet this week for hockey, but yeah, they're still top 2 in the nation, and got by Ohio State. Can the football program? Yeah, they can. Go blue, baby. Let's go. Get that dub.